Today I'm going to paint in my sketchbook this painting for Ordinary January, second day, January 2nd. The prompt is bag. I'm using washi tape in my sketchbook these days, and so I'm going to put my washi tape around the outside edges. I'm going to divide up this page into a couple sections, and the reason is because I want to maybe put two different pictures on this, maybe January 3rd and January 2nd. So I found this picture on Unsplash. I was looking for bags and I decided I would include the whole figure. I actually need to practice figures. One thing I do when I'm trying to get the angle right when I'm drawing is I'll use my pencil. You might see me do it here. Hold my pencil up to the picture to get the angle, and then take that same angle back to my sketchbook so that I can make sure that I've got that angle correct. Sometimes I'll notice that I don't have the correct angle, that my eyes have been, deceiving me. It's a good way to practice getting, training your eyes. So I'm going to outline my drawing with a permanent marker pen like I do a lot in my sketchbook. And just kind of look at the folds, and it's going to be a pretty quick drawing. One thing I like to do in my sketchbooks is I do writing. Sometimes I'll put titles, or I'll write what was going on that day or something about the topic I'm drawing, and I think it adds a lot of interest to the sketchbook page. And I'll put watercolor behind the title. So I'm not very good at lettering. I've bought some lettering books and looked at some YouTube tutorials on lettering. I've got a little bit better at it, but I still think it's interesting looking, and it makes my sketchbook pages look a little bit better, I think. So for the watercolor, I decided not to use the colors that were in the reference picture because they was rather bland and washed out. I decided just to use my own colors and use the reference picture for the shadows. So I'm painting the pants green, and I'm going in with just a base wash first, painting the whole pair of pants just one value. And now I'm going back with that same color. I added a little bit more paint to it, so that's just a little bit brighter green, and I'm going back where the shadows would be. So the shadows are just really the same green, just darker on top of it. And I'm looking at where the light would be hitting the legs, and I'm leaving that unpainted, and that's going to kind of be the lighter part and be the highlight of the pants. And I also took just a little bit of black brown, and I went right in there where the shadow is. Okay, so now I've decided to do the background rather than do a shirt, because I wanted to stay away from the painted area of the pants so they wouldn't bleed. So again, I'm starting with a base coat of green, and I'm taking some darker green and I'm tapping in some darker greens, some browns, just to add the shadows. And then I'm going to also tap in some yellows to be the bright areas of that background, because you can't really see the reference picture very well, but there's just a lot of kind of random shadows and light areas. It's a really the perfect watercolor reference. I'm going to let what I have dry in the background, and I'm going to go with a neutral kind of yellow mixed with white with a touch of brown in there, and make my rocks. So I'm just going in with a base color, and as that is drying, I'm going to go in where I feel that there would be some shadows in the rocks and add a little bit of kind of saturation there with that same color, using the same color to be the shadows. And now I'm going to go choose a different color, and I don't really like it, so I'm choosing a different color from that, and I'm using my paper towel to pick up some of the color that I didn't like. And I'm going where I feel that the rocks would be. While that dries, I'm going in now, and I've chosen a kind of white added to burgundy, or white added to red and pink to make a burgundy t-shirt. Kind of the same thing, base color, and then I went back with a little bit more saturation of the same color and put that where the shadows are. A little bit of weird brown here, and I'm going in now and darkening the hair. So I'm trying to decide what color to paint the backpack. And I decided to go, really vibrant, because that is the prompt. So I'm going with kind of a burnt orange. And here I'm again just doing a even base coat. And I'm going to let it dry so that it's just very, not even really damp anymore. And I'm going to go back with just a little bit more saturation of the orange to add the kind of a brownish orange and add some wrinkles in there. In the meantime, while I'm waiting for it to dry, I'm once again going in a whole nother layer of shadows just over the legs. And I'm just actually using a diluted black now to add these shadows in. I always love the stage. I think it just adds a lot of dimension. Okay, and just using a little bit of diluted black and a tiny bit of brown in there, I'm adding some shadows on the backpack. So adding definition to the rocks, I mostly did with a black-brown mixture, and looking at the reference, I just tried to kind of go in and put the edges of the rocks in, and then I just added a little bit of water where there would be shadows. It's not perfect, but I like how it turned out. I want to add more definition to the grass area out in the distance. So I'm just going to pick up some different colors of green and look at my reference and try to add little tiny strokes in where I see the dark areas in my reference. And so kind of put the lights and the darks where I see them. I'm not sure if this is going to help make it look like it's far off in the distance, but that's what I'm going to try to do here. This was a really fun painting. I liked the fact that it's different for me. I usually stick with animals or objects, and I'm really proud of myself for kind of going beyond my comfort zone and drawing a person. And I think it turned out good. I like it. So I hope you're joining in with the Ordinary January Challenge. And tomorrow, the prompt is shoe.